Good morning, I'm Ryan Gilkerson, lead creative here at Company 119, and this is the Coffee Cup, your daily dose of digital marketing advice and tips, and we thank you for joining us. We do remind everybody that on Fridays, we do take your viewer submissions. If we use one of your submitted questions, we are giving away free t-shirts once a week to any viewer whose question is used on air as our coffee cup topic for Friday. So make sure you continue to send your submissions. We look forward to those. So yesterday we talked with John Klein, our lead designer here, and he walked us through some of the processes that he uses to make really great display ads. Display ads are any type of visual content that is used either on websites or on your social media to be a visual advertisement for your product or your company. Now, display ads, the way we usually think of display ads is when we visit a site, there's banners, there's ads on the side, picture images that companies use to display, different products we might be interested in. And you might think it's just all coincidence that every time you go on a certain site, you see certain ads for products that you use every day, or that you went online, you researched kayaks, and then all of a sudden you went to another website and the manufacturer of the kayaks has ads on that page. It's amazing sometimes how it makes your company appear to the novice who doesn't understand digital marketing. I've seen companies, before I knew what went into those display ads, I thought, oh my gosh, I thought this was just a local company, but here they are. Everywhere I go, every site I go to now, I'm seeing their advertisements. That's not by coincidence. That's by a process called targeting, where you can select where your ads appear when you want your viewers to see them. So targeting is a complex thing, but it's not terribly difficult to understand once you start to get to know some of the basics. So if you're thinking about doing display advertising and you're doing it on your own, you can go to Google Ads and there's a place for display network advertising, and that's where you set up your targeting parameters to know exactly who you're going to go after when you're putting these beautiful display ads up on the internet. So there's a few different things that you can do to choose where your ads are going to appear. There's different types of targeting that you can subscribe to determine where those ads appear. We've got an article here that was written by Lunametrics. Virtual Assistant John, can you bring up the Lunametrics? There it is. Lunametrics has a great article here that is all about the basics of targeting options. And you can find that at lunametrics.com. So the first thing they do in their article is they break down the different types of targeting that are available to you to select where your messages appear. Keyword targeting is one of the most popular. You can select some broad match keywords. For example, words like men's fashion or women's shoes. And it will appear, your ads will appear on websites that have something to do with those keywords. The problem with keyword targeting is it is, like it says, very broad. So if I put in men's fashion, my ad might appear on an article for men's fashion from 2014. It might not be where you want your ad to be displayed per se. So it's not always the most effective way to go about it, but if you're looking for a place to start, some people really like keyword targeting. Placement targeting is something that is also very popular. Placement targeting is where you actually pick the URL where you want your ads to appear. So if you're selling sports t-shirts and you want them to be on ESPN.com, you can target ESPN.com and your ad would appear there. The thing that's hard about placement targeting is it is based on a bid system. So to bid enough to get your ad to appear on ESPN might be very there might be a cost burden there, and it might not be cost effective for you to do it. It just might not make sense for you to spend that much money to target certain sites. But if there's a smaller regional site, for example, if there's a Northeast Ohio sports site that you want to target specific to your team or the product that you're selling, you might have a lot of success with placement advertising. Interest targeting is very popular as well. This places individual users into interest groups based on where they go on the web. So Google has all this data about where you visit, and based on your interest, you might see some different ads. It breaks down the interest groups into what they call in-market and affinity interest groups. In market means people are in the market to buy. Based on their behaviors online, Google feels like they're getting closer and closer to making a purchase. So if you select, in market people that you're going to target, they have a pretty high conversion rate because they're actively looking or in the market to purchase certain products. So sometimes those in-market affinity groups can be really great. Audience targeting is one. This audience targeting is where you are building up an audience, either in AdWords or your Google Analytics. The audiences are made up of users who have visited your site, and then your audience, they're themed remarketing audiences. So if they've been to your site many times and you've got that audience that you know is coming to look for specific products that you have, you could target just those audiences and retarget ads on other sites that they visit. So for example, if virtual assistant John is continually coming to my site and looking at a specific product, I can send him a retargeting message on another site that he's visiting and set it up so he continues to see my branding on sites that he visits. And then there's topic targeting. Now, topic targeting is similar to interest targeting, only it's a more individual process rather than just the individual targeting that happens with the interest targeting. So topic targeting will serve up ads on interest based on the topic of that site. So that's what, it's based on what that particular site is talking about. Those are the ads that would appear. And then lastly, there's demographic targeting, which is just exactly what it is. You could target certain age groups, genders, parental status, economic statuses. You can do different things with demographic targeting to really select your audience and make sure you're talking to the right people. You do all this with Google's display planner that is on Google Ads. Another important thing to do is you can set category exclusions. Why is that important? Well, we mentioned a little bit with display ads and PPC ads. Let's say you're a barber shop that does men's hair and you use razors to cut hair, but you don't sell razors. You might exclude sites that talk about razor sales, not actual haircuts. Or you might want to include them. It depends on what your interests are. But there are exclusions that you can put in to make sure that you're not getting confusing messages or confusing sites where it might not be as effective for you to spend your money. So you've got target and bid strategies versus bid-only strategies. Once you know where you want your ads to display, then you've got different ways to try to go after the real estate on the virtual real estate on those sites through a bidding process. There's a lot to target and bid versus bid-only advertising. But what I liked about this particular website article is that they use a great analogy for helping you understand the difference between target and bid versus bid-only targeting. So they use a relationship example, and I love it. Target and bid is like exclusively dating one person. All right, so you've decided that's the person you want to go after. So you target a specific person, and then you bid on just that person. So if it's demographic testing, for example, you've decided that your target is women aged 25 to 35 in Cleveland, Ohio. So now you're bidding on just that one target. That's what you're going to go after. With bid only, you're seeing multiple people. So you might have a wider range of demographics that you're looking for, but you might say, hey, listen, if women 25 to 35 are interested, I want to up my bid a little bit on that category. I'm really interested in seeing what they're about, but I'm not just going to select them because there's other demographics that I want to speak to as well. So I'm going to keep my options open. So that's kind of the difference between the two types of targeting that you can do. I thought that was a really smart analogy for how to understand it. So listen, let's be honest, targeting and doing PPC campaigns and display ads, can you do them on your own? Absolutely you can. But just to put in perspective how much of a science this is, we have people here at Company 119 that do that full time. They set up PPC campaigns. They do the research. They do your persona research. They do your keyword research. They set up the strategies, and they make sure to report back to you on how everything is performing, tweak them where they need to be, retarget where things need to be retargeted. And it's a really, really complex system that they use to get that done. So if you need help with it, if you simply don't have time to follow through with that type of a campaign, you just want somebody else to manage it for you, give us a call here at Company 119. Visit www.company119.com. We'd be more than happy to give you a shot and talk to you a little bit about what it would take to get your strategy where it needs to be. And of course, our goal is to help you make as much money as you can, as efficiently as you can. So you've just learned more about targeting for display ads before you finished your first cup of coffee than your competition will all day. Thank you so much for joining us.